Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session of NutriLIV 360. I am your host, Ruchita. The world is obsessing over protein, and we're all for it. Today, we'll understand why do we need protein, what are some of the myths and the facts, and what is the protein that we should be consuming, what foundation supplements, and how much of each should we be taking. All this and so much more. We're lucky enough to have an esteemed panel of judges today who are going to walk us through this journey. To start the session, it is my honor and privilege to invite Farooq Tarapur. He, ladies and gentlemen, is an Olympian, two-time world champion in sailing, and has had an active sporting career of 40 years. He's won innumerable awards, including the Chhatrapati Shivaji Award and the Arjuna Award. But most importantly, he's a mentor to each and every one of us on this group with the mission Har Ghar Healthy, Har Ghar Medicine Free. Let's listen to him very, very carefully. Over to you, Farooq.
Thank you, Ruchita. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this exciting Monday session. Today, we're going to be discussing one of the major macronutrients. And I don't think there is, anything on which there is so much of disinformation on the social media. People just pick up, little bits and pieces from here and there, and they think that that's gospel truth. Whereas the real fact is that it is a community like this that protects you and gives you the right direction and separates the fact from the fiction, on what is there on social media. So protein is the building block of life. And you will hear stories, from people who will say that a katori of dal mein I get all my protein. Now, to be just a little precise, a particular katori, a small size katori, will give you something like 2 to 3 grams of protein. And that's not what you need for your daily need. You at least bare minimum need, 1 gram of protein per kilo of body weight. If you want to really cut it down, maybe 0.8 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. But anything less than that, your body is going to be protein deficient. Now, if you're protein deficient on one day, nothing will happen tomorrow. But imagine if you add those days, put them into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, years turn into decades, and you keep living a small deficit every single day. What do you think is going to happen to your body? All your repair work, people talk about hair fall, people talk about energy, people talk about repairs. Everything is associated with protein. And if you don't have the right amount of protein, you're going to be in serious trouble. Especially if you're a vegetarian, it becomes even harder to get the amount of quantity of protein that you need. And ultimately, you end up having a lot more carbs instead. And that's the big problem. Also, you should know, that if you take protein, which part of the day is the most, suitable for your body. It's the morning breakfast, it's the morning nutrition. 50% of your protein requirement should be taken in the morning. You look at your morning breakfast, ask yourself a question that, am I getting 50% of my protein, in this particular meal? Because if you're not getting that, then you are protein deficit, and that deficiency will, catch up with you in the long run. So I really encourage you to understand this subject properly, okay, to give it a little bit of thought, because it will have a significant impact not only on your health, but the health of people around you. You are very lucky today that we have somebody like Deepika, okay, who's going to share with you her experiences. Sorry. Share with you her experiences. And if you see her before and after pictures, you won't even believe it. So without wasting much of Deepika's time, over to you, Deepika.
Thank you so much, Farooq. God bless you, Farooq. Well, good evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. And a pertinent question that Farooq, probably didn't ask, and I'll ask on his behalf. I hope we are all done with our dinner, and probably at least an hour ago. If not, please finish your dinners on time. Farooq and Ruchita have already set the pace for tonight's session. Yes, we are talking about protein. Why are we talking about protein? उस पे बाद में आते हैं. But those of you who are here for the first time today, please give yourself a round of applause because you are a looker. You are wanting to, understand what can help your body, what can help you. You are open enough to find those answers. But I would want all of you who've been here way many times in the past and are still here again today evening to definitely give yourselves a round of applause, because whether or not you may be hearing these sorry, just give me a second. Whether or not you may be listening to these very diligently every single time that we come on board with you every Monday, I'm 100% sure that each time you would be probably having a social conversation, your enlightenment about proteins, about carbs, about circadian rhythm, somewhere you must be putting forth a point that the person in front of you would have really wondered, okay, where did that come from? Because these sessions and this community is slowly and steadily creeping into our daily life and also giving us enough information that can help us move from, where we are today to a much healthier lifestyle. And with that, let me just share the screen for today's session. Give me a second, please. Okay. All right. We're going to be talking about protein, a very important, extremely important subject. Why are we talking about protein? The reason we are talking about protein is that no matter, like Farooq said, that there is a lot of information on the social media, the fact remains that despite knowing all of this, 8 out of 10 Indians are deficient in protein. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very alarming number. We are talking about close to about 80% population being deficient on one of the most important macronutrient that your body does not store on a daily basis, and it is required for you to consume it, replenish it every single day for your day-to-day operations. So imagine if 80% of us are protein deficient, where are we headed as a nation? 9 out of 10 Indians are unaware of their daily requirement of protein. There is a quote which says, if you don't know where you're going, the possibility of you reaching there is absolutely zero. So if you don't even know how much protein you need, how will you even think of having sufficient amount of protein on a day-to-day basis? And that's exactly what we're going to be covering tonight's session. Just to give you a little perspective on the numbers are not to scare you in any way, but probably it's a wake-up call, like I always say, that 73% of our diets are protein deficient. 93% people are not aware of the ideal protein requirement. Like Farooq said, people in India, because we are literally a vegetarian dominated country, people still feel that having 2 katori dal is more than sufficient to cater to their protein requirements every single day. 84% veg diets are deficient in protein. 65% non-veg diets are also lacking in protein. So if non-vegetarians are also so deficient in protein, imagine the status or state of vegetarian population. Most importantly, 97% pregnant women also don't know what their protein requirement is. So if a mother who's giving birth to tomorrow's India, or their tomorrow, their future, if they don't know what is the requirement for the most foundational supplement in their child's body or for their child, it's going to be a very, very horrific scenario. We also have some demographic wise numbers. We can share them with you over the WhatsApp chat as well, or you can take a screenshot. Now, what are the myths that surround in Indian psychology about the protein sources? Protein is easily available in fruits and vegetables. No, it is not. It is not easily available in fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are predominantly, vitamin and mineral rich and fiber rich and not protein. 70% pregnant women, lactating mothers, they wrongly believe this and they think that having a, nice sabzi, tarkari, salad, etc. in their daily meal is actually taking care of their protein requirement. Leafy vegetables are a good source of protein, but how many Indians are actually having sufficient amount of daily requirement of leafy vegetables so that they can, on an average, if an Indian weighs about 70 kgs, and given the calculation, they need 70 grams of protein every single day. How much leafy vegetables will you need to have to take care of that daily requirement? 73% urban India thinks it's true. It's not true, like I rightly said. Protein is bad for health. Even long before that, I was a part of this community. I was a part of this particular association. I knew people saying that too much of protein helps you gain weight. And, people did not know how to differentiate between, a vegetarian source protein or a non-vegetarian source protein. People did not know how to differentiate between, whey protein and lean protein, and which of the two actually help you gain muscle and which of the two help you actually lose weight. 20% of those who surveyed believe that a protein-rich diet is unhealthy. If our basic fundamentals about the understanding of this macronutrient are so delusional, imagine how will we even get close to, completing our daily requirement for protein, on an individual basis. Very, very important to understand the requirement, where can you get it, how much can you get it, the quality of the protein, etc., etc. Why are we laying so much of focus on protein, and why am I saying that it is perhaps one of the most important macronutrients? That's because we are made up of protein. I remember when we were very, very new to this entire community, there was a line which was, by heart, ke sir ke baal se leke pair ke nakhun tak, every single cell in our body is made up of protein. Whether, you know it, you don't know it, you agree to it, you don't agree to it, every single cell of our body, it is the building block of our body. It is required every single day. Our body does not store protein, so we need to replenish every single day. And a long-term deficit of protein can cause a lot of problems. Now, what you need to understand is, yes, protein is the building block of life, but what are the other aspects of protein? It comes from the Greek word proteos, which means primary or the first place, so most important, which highlights its importance as a nutrient. Protein is made up of 20 different amino acids, most of which your body is not able to synthesize. Some of it is. Protein is a vital nutrient in your body, constituting about 15 to 16% of your body mass. So imagine that if you are 90% deficient in something which is contributing to be about 50% of your body mass, how much your body will be under pressure in the long run because of this deficit. High prevalence of protein deficiency among 73% urban rich Indians. As much as we may say that we understand this, we know a lot of information, we can Google, we can, Google Gemini, etc., etc. We are, very educated and we move in that class of people who understand health, diet, etc., etc. Imagine this percentage being 73%, where people, they are unaware, or the prevalence is about up to 73% being protein deficient. So that is a very, very alarming number. More than 90% people are unaware of their daily protein requirement. Now, maybe a little more than what it was 15 years ago, people, because of, again, social media, I'll come back to that, are a little aware. But yet, even after the awareness that the social media actually gives us, still about 90% of people don't know how much of protein do they require on a daily basis. What is the calculation basis which they can actually calculate that amount? What are the types of protein? Let's understand that. We have or amino acids that basically form the protein. We have essential amino acids and we have non-essential amino acids. The essential amino acids cannot be synthesized by the body, whereas the non-essential amino acids can be synthesized by the body. This is a little bit of explanation and names of all those amino acids. Now, why is protein important? What bodily functions is protein actually helping us on a day-to-day basis? Well, most importantly, how many times have you seen that protein is very important for good hair? Because women especially would know keratin is very important. Enough keratin in your hair will give you smooth and straight hair, etc., etc., healthy hair, good hair volume, good hair strength, etc. So hair, nail, and skin, protein is very important. The men folk, I mean, today even the women are working on their strength training and building muscle. So yes, one of the most essential aspects of protein, it helps you build muscles. Muscles is extremely important. The focus of especially people in their 40s and 50s today should make a deliberate effort of getting into strength training, because there's a lot of muscle waste that happens during this age bracket. And in your old age, that is the one thing that causes a lot of problems. So yes, build your muscle. It helps build your muscles. It boosts your immune system. Your immunity is rock solid. You don't fall prey to infections, etc. It definitely helps you sustain a normal digestive system. It transports the essential molecules around your body. Now, no matter how much nutritional food that you may have, if the nutrition from that from that food is not reaching various parts of your body, that will be a big cause of concern. So yes, it transports essential molecules. It supports the regulation and expression of DNA and RNA strands in your body. We all understand. It breaks down food. खाने को break down भी करना पड़ेगा to metabolize that, to absorb nutrients from the food that you have just eaten. It grows and repairs body tissues. In the following slides, we will see a beautiful explanation of how, when you have sufficient amount of protein and you get into strength training or you get into muscle building, how it helps repair your tissues, your muscles, and strengthens them for a strengthens them even more. It makes hormones and your brain chemicals. Definitely, protein provides a big boost of energy on your day-to-day activities. So it's very, very important. Make sure that from today onwards, at least after this session, you are able to understand how much protein do you require on a daily basis for yourself. Okay, coming to what is the right quantity of protein, what is the right quality of protein? The amount of protein that you require depends upon a couple of things. One is the individual physiological feature. Now, what is the physiological feature? It will talk about whether you're a man or a woman, a boy or a girl. What age bracket do you fall into? How much physical activity do you do on a daily basis? What does your, average day look like? What is your current health status? Are you suffering from any lifestyle problems? Are you absolutely in the best of your health, etc., etc.? And when we talk about the protein quality, we are talking about what is the amino acid composition of that protein. We'll come to that later. We'll just understand that. And what is the PDCA score of that protein? So PDCA score is protein digestibility corrected amino acid score. It is a global benchmark for protein which they say that if the PDCA score of a protein is 1, it means that 100% absorption will happen for whatever amount of protein you are having. And whenever you're having, none of it goes waste. So which is very, very key and important. What would be your protein requirement? Like Farooq said, on an average, you require about 1 gram per kg body weight. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, 1 gram per kg body weight. So even if you're looking at about if you're an average sedentary lifestyle, if I talk about women who are predominantly at home all the time, they are more into sitting kind of a profile while they are at home, just other than the cooking that they do. You have a lot of help at home and you don't really need to work too much. Or for that matter, people who are, in an IT sector job where they are sitting for about 10 to 12 hours a day, probably a 0.8 grams per kg body weight would be sufficient for you. If you're into any kind of recreational athletics, about 1.1 to 1.4 grams per kg body weight. If you are, building endurance for yourself, you're probably, running marathons and you're doing these challenges, etc., 1.2 to 1.4 gram body weight. And if you are into strength training and power training, probably 1.2 to 1.6 grams of body weight. Now, what is the right time to have protein, etc., etc.? Protein is essential part of your morning nutrition. Why is it essential part of your morning nutrition? Like most of the sessions where we have focused on morning nutrition per se, and also focused that the breakfast is the most important meal of your day. No matter how much we may stress upon this, this is one of the biggest facts. This is still an understated fact and an under understood fact that breakfast is the most important meal of your day. And essentially in breakfast, protein should be almost as high as 50% of your daily requirement of protein. So in case your daily requirement of protein is 70 grams, at least 30 to 35% of protein should be consumed in breakfast time. Why? Because that is the time your body has already gone through 6 to 8 hours of repairing and healing your body from the regular daily wear and tear. So you are definitely in a negative protein balance. When you wake up in the morning and you have a protein power packed breakfast, it boosts your metabolic rate, the rate at which your body burns calories. It definitely increases the thermic effect of food. So your body will burn more calories to metabolize the same amount of food when it is sufficient on its protein levels, and definitely and also sustained energy release. So when you start your day in the morning and you know that you have to be keep going at it till about 9-10 o'clock at night, protein, because it gets digested very slow, the entire process is very slow, like we heard in the last session. So it's a sustained energy release, slow and steady in your body on a daily basis. Now, again, why preferably in the morning? We did a survey where we found people who have more protein intake in breakfast vis-a-vis less protein intake in breakfast, breakfast vis-a-vis dinner. People who had higher protein consumption in breakfast had high muscle volume, high grip strength, and better agility throughout the day vis-a-vis people who had a high protein rich, high protein dinner. A lot of Punjabis, especially up north, usually dinner is one of their main meals. I have all my life been a part of that circle where dinner used to be the heaviest and considered to be the main meal. So a lot of chicken and maybe butter chicken, tandoori chicken, etc., etc., all of it is happening at night. So on an average, even if you're consuming 2 pieces of chicken, no matter which form of chicken, you're consuming almost 50 grams of protein at night, and your body does not really need it at that point of time, because the maximum that we are going to do after having a late dinner, which is usually around 9:30, 10, I'm talking about average Delhi in NCR household, you're going to be probably sleeping in the next 1.5 to 2 hours without doing much of physical activity. So most of the protein literally goes waste. But if you have the same amount of protein in the morning, you will have high muscle volume, you will have high agility, high strength, high grip, and it is also very optimal metabolism of your metabolic health. So it provides optimal metabolism of your metabolic health. आपकी fitness और functionality को improve करता है, and definitely it improves your overall quality of your life. Let's understand the, sorry. So, yeah. One of the most important aspects, better weight management. How does it help you in better weight management? Like I just said, because protein takes far more longer to get broken down or digested in your stomach vis-a-vis fats and carbohydrates. Hence, it provides you satiety for a much, much longer period of time. You feel fuller for a lot more longer when you've consumed a protein-rich diet. It is 2 times diet-induced thermogenesis. So yes, when you eat more protein, sufficient amount of protein, your body burns more calories to break it down, takes longer to break it down. And hence, because you feel fuller for longer, you don't end up eating snacks within a short period of time of having that meal. Now, soy protein, how does that help in weight management? Remember, I told you that a lot of people still think that any kind of protein helps only, results in weight gain. It isn't so. When you are having a plant-based protein powder, a soy-based protein powder, it actually helps you lose weight faster because it gives you a feeling of satiety for much longer. It helps regulate your appetite and not make you go and binge on the snack immediately after finishing a meal. It burns more calories in breaking down and digesting a protein-rich meal. So if you're not having a protein-rich meal, maybe your body will burn, say, X calories, but if you're having a protein-rich meal, it will be, multiplied by a certain number. It preserves your lean body mass. It doesn't let that waste away. Enhanced fat oxidation, so it enhances the oxidation of fat. It definitely improves your blood sugar spike. So oftentimes you would have heard even on social media today and also through these sessions that when you're having a meal or when you're having an item which you feel can result in a sugar spike, if you can probably pair it up with a protein snack, it will definitely slow down the sugar spike and the sugar crash as well. And also, protein helps in regulating your cholesterol. Protein helps in your mental health. Why? Because how much happier are you on a day when you are totally sapped out of energy? You're tired, you're fatigued, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to go out. Vis-a-vis a day when you've probably, woken up at probably a good 6 o'clock in the morning, gone for a jog, gone for a run, done your 5 to 7,000 steps first thing in the morning, came and have your breakfast by 7:30. How pumped up are you when you do that? That is because if your body has sufficient amount of protein in it, or if you're replenishing it at the right time, at the right day, every single day, your body will be a lot more happier. It'll have better energy levels. It'll be more agile. It'll be more on the go. It'll stabilize your blood glucose. It'll improve your insulin levels. It will delay your gastric emptying and thereby resulting in you not frequently eating. And when you are able to do this, when you are able to, do your physical activities without feeling lazy, without feeling dehydrated or sapped out, when you're able to eat the right food, don't you think that you will be mentally a much more happier person and more contented that you're probably leading that particular day just the way it is supposed to? So this is how it helps you have a better mental health. Your cognition will be much better. Your response will be much better. Your alertness will be much better. You will have less mood swings. Your performance will be a lot better and your productivity will be a lot better. I don't know about you, but the days that I wake up by about 6:30 in the morning, by 10:30, 11 o'clock, I feel I've achieved already so much in the day. And the days when, probably waking up maybe on a weekend or something goes up to say 8:30, 9 o'clock, suddenly you feel that half the day is already gone and you haven't really done much. So why that happens, if you are supplementing the right amount of nutrition, be it your macros or your micros, if you're getting enough rest, your body will automatically start getting aligned to its ideal circadian rhythm, and that is how it helps in a better mental health as well. Now, protein should be consumed across the day, especially breakfast. Now, what is the common practice that people do? Lowest amount of protein in the breakfast, and like I just said, highest amount of protein at dinner. How it should be? It should be absolutely reverse. You need to have highest amount of protein percentage in your breakfast and lowest in your dinner. There was a clinical study done which said effect of protein rich versus protein poor diet, which was studied. There was increased muscle mass, like we just discussed in the previous slide, in people who consumed a protein rich breakfast vis-a-vis people who consumed a protein rich dinner. Now, protein nutrition की अपनी एक strategy है. When I say strategy, there needs to be a right protein time when you're having it, the right quality of protein, the right quantity of protein, and the right distribution across the day. Now, it may sound to you, I'm sorry, it may sound to you that, इतना कौन पढ़ाई करेगा, इतनी पढ़ाई करने की जरूरत भी नहीं है, and it's no rocket science. And I'm sure that even if you have to spend the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes understanding something which is very, very key to your overall well-being and the well-being of your family, those 10-15 minutes are totally worth it. And I'm sure you agree with me. So protein timings, what are the sources? Let's just understand this in detail. Protein timing, like I said, it has to be a decreasing chart for you, starting first thing in the morning, maximum in breakfast. Well, I'm taking an average case where you have your weight is about 70 kgs. I have about 30 to 35 grams in the breakfast, another 20 grams in lunch, and the remaining 15 grams in dinner. protein quality. How will you decide which is the best quality protein? I'll just come to that. Protein distribution is just what I said right now, and total protein intake is on an average 1 gram protein per kg body weight. Okay. Now, what are the sources of protein? Sources of protein are plant-based and animal-based, like I said in the beginning of this session. These are some examples. There are many, many, many more examples on the community over the last couple of months. We've repeatedly shared, some really, really good ideas about a protein-rich breakfast, especially for vegetarians. If you have missed that out, please speak to the person who's invited you here. They can share it with you. We had shared some couple of protein rich breakfast ideas and meal ideas. So chickpeas, brown rice, cashews, avocados, broccoli, etc., almonds, etc., are good plant-based protein sources. When you talk of animal-based protein, the best is if you can get into seafood-based protein, fish, which is very lean, tuna, etc. If not that, then maybe chicken. Keep red meat at bay as much as possible, because even though they're very high in protein, they also come packed with a lot of other elements that you would not want to be a part of your daily routine. Okay. Very, very, very interesting topic. The blue zones. These are zones across the world where people have a higher than usual number of years added to their life than the average. Right now, it's United States में you have Loma Linda, Costa Rica में Nicoya, Italy में Sardinia, Icaria in Greece, and Okinawa in Japan. These people were literally studied as to what exactly do they do that results in them leading a longer life, leading a healthier life. So some of the basic, segments that were focused upon, that they move naturally a lot. What is their outlook towards life? What is, what faith that they follow? They eat very wisely, and they connect a lot with the nature. They connect a lot with the people. So this is what has led them to probably live much longer. Understanding what they do on a daily basis, weekly basis, and monthly basis. What do they do daily? 95 to 100% of their diet has been plant-based. So contrary to the belief that a lot of people say that protein to sirf animal-based food items se aa sakta hai, these are people who are living much healthier, much longer, much happier than most of us. And yet their 95 to 100% diet comes plant-based. They go whole. So single ingredient, raw, cooked, or fermented, and not highly processed, or which is probably cooked al dente, not 100% or overcooked. Their daily dose of beans is half cup to 1 cup at least every single day. So beans are very high in protein. So that takes care of their protein requirement. They drink mostly water. So they refrain from aerated drinks and sugary drinks and diet sodas and, so to speak, electrolyte water and fancy waters per se. They drink their tea and coffee and wine in extreme moderation. They snack on nuts, but not just fill up themselves on nut. It's just very handful every single day. What do they do weekly? They probably go very easy on fish, fewer than 3 ounces up to 3 times a week. So just a little bit. They literally eliminate eggs because they don't have more than 3 eggs per week, which is almost negligible. They slash sugar. They consume only 28 grams, which is 7 teaspoons of added sugar daily. That is weekly. They have reduced their dairy requirement significantly, and a lot of studies have come up in the recent past which show that human is the only mammal that continues to consume milk and milk-based products even after achieving adulthood, which is not at all required. What do they do monthly? They have centenarians eat about 2 or less ounces of meat per month and keep it at that, refrain from eating that anything more than that every single month. So I know we are not able to do this monthly, weekly, daily, but even if we can keep the good practices that we keep sharing with you on these sessions as much as possible, I think we will definitely head that way sooner than later. Ruchita, I think there's some disturbance. If you could check, somebody's gone unmute. Okay, now soy protein benefits. What are the benefits? We have anabolic benefits and we have beyond anabolic benefits. Remember, I told you how protein helps in repairing your tissues and muscles. On the left hand side, in anabolic, Ruchita, thank you so much. What you see on the left hand side is a schematic of protein breakdown and synthesis. So, what happens is that you have muscle protein. You go to the gym today, tomorrow, first thing in the morning, because you're really pepped up with this session and you really want to build some muscle, etc., etc. What happens is when you come home and you sleep at night, the next day morning, when you wake up, you can practically not even put your feet on the ground because you feel so cramped. Because your muscles, because of your day one in gym, get toned. But what happens on a below the surface level is where the amino acids work on your muscle breakdown. They repair your muscles. There's muscle synthesis that happens, and next day morning, you are in a lot better situation the following day than you were on day one. When you repeat this process over and over again and not sit at home because oh my god, you are having cramps and you're having pains and you don't want to go to the gym. But wise people, when they keep going back to the gym and this process is repeated in their body at the effect on the affected muscles, that is when they start building muscles. When we say dole shole, this is how dole shole are formed in your body. When your body does its own job, when it has sufficient amount of protein and it repairs your muscle breakdown every single day, this is how it builds muscles in your body. It improves your lean body mass. It also further strengthens your endurance. It improves your endurance. It reduces the exertion on your body, and it also improves your oxidative stress. This is what we see. This is anabolic. Beyond anabolic, it really supports your heart health. It supports your bone health because the muscles are gripping the bones right. They're being supplemented with the right amount of protein. Your metabolic health goes up. Your weight management is taken care when you are having the right kind of protein every single day. Now, these aspects, just to understand them in detail, हार्ट हेल्थ में ये आपके लिपिड प्रोफाइल को बहुत अच्छे से मैनेज करता है. इट lowers your overall cholesterol, your LDL, your VLDL, and your triglycerides, which are the major enemies for you. When we say metabolic health, it provides you satiety and fullness for much longer. It takes up your energy expenditure vis-a-vis, a body which has less protein. It increases your fat burning on a day-to-day basis. It improves your hormonal balance every single day. बोन हेल्थ में आपकी बोन मिनरल डेंसिटी को इम्प्रूव करता है. वेट मैनेजमेंट में सेटाइटी एंड फीलिंग फुलर फॉर लॉन्गर की फीलिंग आपको देता है. इट लोअर्स योर सडन ब्लड शुगर स्पाइक एंड सडन ब्लड शुगर क्रैश. ब्लड लिपिड को कम करता है. फैट बर्निंग को इंक्रीज करता है, लाइक आई जस्ट सेड, and also improves and increases your lean body mass. Okay, what are the certain myths and facts about soy protein? Myth is that it affects reproductive hormones. Fact is that no, it does not affect your reproductive hormones. It causes early puberty. Absolutely not. It does not cause early puberty. It is bad for your thyroid. No, it isn't bad for your thyroid. If you need more information on this, a detailed understanding of this, please speak to the person who's invited you here. Either he or she will do it themselves, or they will connect you to one of our group leaders who can explain it to you in detail. Soy allergies are common. Like any food, soy can cause allergic reactions in some individuals. It's like, we talk about peanuts. Peanuts is one of the most common food in India, yet a lot of people are allergic to it. So yes, it can cause allergies, but that percentage is negligible, and it is as common as any other food item that would probably cause some kind of allergy in an individual. Now, why plant protein? Because unlike animal protein, plant protein is very, very high in fiber. And trust me, I still feel like protein, 90% of Indians don't understand the importance of daily fiber in our daily diet. I mean, a country like India, which still faces a lot of gut-related issues, constipation-related issues, IBS issues, we still undermine the importance of fiber in our daily diet. It is packed with antioxidants and other nutrients, a plant-based protein. It is no cholesterol, zero sugar, zero carb. What more can you ask for? Look for other alternates of protein in your, in the pharmacy nearby you, and go to the nutritional chart. I am yet to come across alternate protein brands which would have zero sugar, zero carb, and zero fat in their entire, so one serving of their protein. It is very low in saturated fat. It does not have any animal hormones that can affect you in any particular way. It is a lot more sustainable in the long run, and it is definitely environmental friendly because it is coming from a plant source. Okay, the one that we strongly recommend is the all plant protein powder. Why? Because has a PTCA score. It has a PTCA score of 1, which is it is 100% fully absorbed by your body without getting wasted at all. 2, because it is plant based. 3, because for 60 grams of protein that you would probably have from your other food sources, you would need to consume about 11 eggs, which is 780 calories, 50 bananas, which is about 5,800 calories, 25 potatoes, about 8 glasses of milk, and about 8 bowls of curd. This is what you need to have with for consuming 60 grams of protein. And to consume 60 grams of protein from the all plant protein powder, other than what you're supplementing in your daily food, the ratio is much smaller. And you are getting access to a protein powder that has been sourced from 100% organic farms. Now, when I say 100% organic farms, I meet a lot of people who say that, I get my fruits and vegetables from the organic shop. One thing that I want you to understand very clearly, anything that is being produced in India, 90% chances are that it cannot be organic, because the air that we are breathing, the water that we are drinking, and the soil from which this fruit and vegetables are coming up, they are not 100% organic. We will really need to do a deep investigated study for you to prove us wrong on this subject. So you need to have organic protein powder with a PTCA score of 1. This is the basic foundational health basket that we recommend to one and all. If you have no problem, fabulous. This is the least that you need to start so that you never have any health challenge ever again in your life. I come from a personal experience of past 13 years being associated not just with this brand, but feeding my entire family of this NutriLIV supplement range. My own mother, who was a diabetic, who's been a heart patient, has been on this for the last 8 years every single day. My own family is doing it. So if I can recommend it to my own family and make sure they have it every single day, trust me, I can recommend it to the world. So you have NutriLIV all plant protein powder. You have multivitamin daily. The name is daily, which means you need to have it every single day. We also have fiber, which, we've done a detailed study on fiber in the last session. We have NutriLIV Salmon Omega-3, which is the good fat. And we also have the pre and probiotic capsule. What is a prebiotic? Prebiotic is the food that your probiotics in your gut need to keep your gut flora and fauna absolutely in the healthiest possible state. And finally, we come to the end of this session, but we never end our session before we discuss Shine with you. Start your every single day with a lot of gratitude and optimism, ladies and gentlemen. If you have nothing to be thankful for, be thankful for the fact that you woke up that day in the morning. A lot of us won't be waking up tomorrow in the morning, and that's a very sad thing to say. But yes, that is one thing that you need to be super grateful about. Be optimistic about, winding up, having a great day at work, winding up, having a good productive day, going back to your family at night, having a good night's sleep, and waking up the next day. Have your daily nutrition without fail. Have your daily nutrition for your body, have your daily nutrition for your mind. Trust me, our minds are far more tired and saturated than our bodies are these days, given the stress levels around us, given the anxieties around us. Intentions, visualize and set clear intentions for yourself with respect to your health, with respect to your wealth, with respect to your life. The more sorted you are where you want to go, trust me, the faster you would reach there. Learn something new every day. Humans are one of the most blessed, uh, what do you say, people, or on the planet, who have been given this ability to learn and grow. And if you're not learning anything, trust me, you will become old and primitive in a much, much shorter time. And please, please, please exercise daily, exercise daily, exercise daily, whatever it is that you enjoy. You enjoy going for a walk, go for a walk. You enjoy going for swimming, summer season is here, go for a swim. You enjoy dancing, just switch on the music and for the next 40 minutes, dance your heart out. Trust me, it'll do you a lot more good. So, whatever works for you, make sure you do a 40-minute kind of a workout every single day. And lastly, as Farooq always says, because this picture gives me a lot of inspiration, this is my transformation being on this program from this to this. Trust me, for those of you who can, look at a picture and understand, I was almost as happy pre as I was post. But one thing that, kind of was a wake up call for me was that I am not really growing younger. And it's time for me to get a grip of my life and enjoy the same life for a much longer period of time, having this probably almost the same kind of food, but for a longer period of time so that I can portion it well, I can quantify it well, and I can quality, have more quality food. So if this inspires you, if you're here for the first time today, don't take more than 5 seconds to call up the person who's invited you here. And please ask them how soon can you get on board with us on this journey, on this program, because I'm yet to see anybody who started with us and has already stopped. So everybody's continuing with us, and we would want you to continue with us on this journey forever and ever. That's all from my side. Over to you, Rajita.
Thank you so much, Deepika, for explaining that so wonderfully. Guys, as Deepika said, I was just looking up an article where it said we now have countries known to have increased their average population's height and stamina just by focusing on nutrition. That, I mean, in itself, an entire nation increasing that. Please go and read about it and just realize the importance of what we're discussing. If they can do it, I think all of us can make some impact to ourselves and our families. On that note, thank you, great audience, and we'll see you in the next session with a new topic, equally important. Until then, good night, stay safe.